Science. Shimmy.
Welcome to the Polymuse Podcast. I am at least your second favorite cousin, Michael, and here is the other.
This is Ben. This is my voice. Memorize it. This is the other favorite cousin on the Polymuse Experience, where we take you on the deep dive through our favorite musical artists, the ones that we love, the ones that we know, the ones that we have something to tell you about them. That's what we do. We're doing System of a Down. It's gonna be good. We're doing Science and Shimmy, two of their very good songs that we grew up with on the mixtape that we made from the songs that we downloaded that we before we even knew that they had an album or whatever they had.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the ones coming to you live. Science is cool. Do you like Science? Do you like System of a Down? Do you like Polymuse? What do you like?
Science.
Hit me. We got a science lover. We got a science fighter. We got the warrior of science himself. Michael, about to tell you about his deep love for these two tracks. These System of a Down nuggets we got up for you tonight here. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. You know what? Podcast hosts should ask. Give a round of applause. Nice warm welcome. Do it at home. We're not going to put a sound effect. Just do a round of applause for at least your second favorite co-host, Michael, the man himself.
So science is a little anti-science, pro-belief.
Oh.
First verse is fighting off the diseased programming of centuries, a little science over religion for you.
Okay.
Pre-chorus is very much what it states. I think it's very deliberate in its delivery of its intention there.
But science has failed.
It has.
So they show how science is perhaps an alternative to
it's
blind faith.
Yeah, it's suggesting science is actually failing the Earth due to climate change and pollution. Maybe it's doing more harm than good. Perhaps some scientific findings are misused, such as the invention of the atomic bomb.
Just because we can do something doesn't mean they should do something. We can do anything. They will find a way scientifically to do whatever. Anything is possible.
Exactly.
Molecularly, they'll figure it out. But should they do such a thing?
Exactly. It's questioning that, as System of a Down questions many things.
Devil's advocate. These little devil's advocates for you.
Exactly. And this was used in 2002's ATV Off-Road Fury 2 video game.
Oh, yeah. Nothing says rebelling against the misuse of scientific capitalism like ATV Off-Road Fury 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Exactly.
Or whatever it was.
That is exactly right.
I think that's an oxymoron. It's a juxtaposition, at least. A collage. Does it match? I mean, it's a hype song.
Yeah, I love it.
But so off-road vehicles, that's a correct use of science. Or is it? They're probably anti-pollution and everything.
Vehicles,
and not that those are
vehicles.
Right, if we were all driving the ATVs, maybe that would be different then. Obviously, that's probably not a major cause of pollution, but
gasoline.
Video games, is that good science or bad science?
It's a good question.
We'll get into that.
Pose here.
If we're talking about if video games are addictive or not, if that's the question at hand, I think we're going to address that. We talked off mic a little bit here.
Yep.
The audience has no idea what I'm talking about. It's about the next song. We're on Science still. Science from the album Toxicity.
Yes.
This is iconic. It goes with war. To me, Science and war, even though war was on the last album.
Right.
To me, that was like side A and side B. That was like, here's the war, here's the science. It's just extreme. I didn't even know, and it's hard to know what do they want. You know what I mean? It's like they say a lot of extreme things.
It's a lot of anti this, but then it's like,
right.
What are we pro then? Like, what are we doing?
What do you replace it with? Once you tear society down to nothing.
Sometimes it's a lot of protest and it's no. Well, then what do we stand for? Falling for everything, standing for nothing. I don't know where.
I love it. I like angry music. I like protest music. I like punk music. I think anybody should be allowed to fight for anything that they believe that they deserve. And I think they should cram that down the throats of anyone who they can get to listen to it. Whether I personally agree or not, I always want bands to make a statement and make a stink and piss people off and challenge you. I think System of a Down, they were on the radio and they get you to like consider maybe the government, new. Like,
Exactly.
There's not very many songs that get you to question like such fundamental, like, oh, is religion good or bad? Is the government good or bad?
Yep.
All these deep, questions that entire societies can't answer. Have lived or died over these questions.
Yeah.
You don't get that on mainstream radio very often, very frequently. Certainly not today. Maybe back in the day, something like Queen or something, where it's some type of that level of metaphysical, esoteric type of situation. So science is a method of investigation.
Yes.
And so what are they mad about? Let's dig into this.
Science in general. Is it
failed.
A good thing or a bad thing? It's probably a failure in their eyes, as the examples that are being presented onto this track. It's potentially very dangerous and potentially not as helpful as we think.
Isn't peer-reviewed, observational-based, reproducible. Like, they're mad that they're using a method for evil purposes. It's not the same as...
Well, it's very
they
general.
say science has failed our world, is what they say, straight up and down. Has failed Mother Earth. I guess that remains to be seen. I understand that pollution is bad.
Yeah.
Science has given good... we're recording a podcast. They made a platinum-selling record in a recording studio.
Yeah.
Like, how much oil did they have to burn to keep the land? How much science went into producing... Toxicity, just the science. We're not even talking about this is not about pollution. This is about science.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to
questioning the questioners.
Questioning the everything. Is that the message of System of a Down? Question everything.
Yeah, mostly.
Or you'll fall for everything. Question everything,
or you'll fall for anything.
Or you'll fall for anything.
Question everything, you'll fall for anything.
So they're questioning faith, they're questioning science. There's people who have faith in science. There's people who use science. Does it work the other way? Yes, there are church scientists. It's strange. It's got to all be... I'm just spitballing. I'm just ball spitting. What do you think? What do we got? Should we listen to the song?
I think we should listen to the song.
Spirit moves through all things. Science has failed. Spirit moves through all things. Those are the two choruses of the song, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's catchy. Love this song. I like the needly intro. I like that they go from the like chugging fast needly stuff to the really like breakdown heavy, flash you back and forth type of stuff. Yeah. It's a good track.
We break it up almost into like different segments. We got a lot going on vocally, I guess. A little singing, a little screaming, a little shouting, a little hollering. Yeah. A little all for the people, all for me, hands up, hands raised.
That's what we want.
Yeah. I love this song. I like this a lot. It's a song we've listened to a lot since we were young little lads out on the farm.
Making two possibilities a reality, predicting the future of things. So there's two possibilities. There's a good future and a bad future. Mm-hmm. Predicting the future. They predicted that it would make a good future, but it made an enslaved future or whatever, not to talk lightly. Like, I do think a lot of this stuff is bad for you. I personally am not huge on social media. There's certain aspects of technology that are certainly toxic and detrimental.
Certainly.
So let's see what they say next. Fighting off the diseased programming of centuries. That could be an anti-religion.
Science over religion is
it
how
could be, yeah.
Some interpret that. Yeah, absolutely.
Science fails to recognize the single most potent element of human existence, letting the reins go to the unfolding of faith. So is faith the most important element?
There's a lot of faith questioning in SOAD as well.
Yeah, that must be what they're saying here. So science failed. Well, I see. Take it to the next level. They didn't have faith that there was a spirit of Mother Earth. Like, if they had faith of like, or it's just a rock that they can use versus, there's a spirit of nature. There's this, does it have a soul versus is it just something that like a rock, or is there Mother, you know what I mean?
Nothing to it or something to it.
So they want us to believe, they want us to have a certain amount of faith that nature is, there's a soul, there's a spirit, that we need to protect Mother Earth, which I agree that there is. You should have faith that there is a spiritual realm. There is a spiritual aspect to certain things.
What did you grade this song?
I gave this song a B+. I think it thrashes. I don't think it is particularly... It doesn't do anything that other songs don't do, but it needed to the concept of it, just like I said, war, science, like they needed those songs on there to like make those big, I wouldn't even say controversial, but gets your mind moving, gets your mind thinking about big topics. So to me, that's a B+.
I actually S'd it out.
Wow.
Yeah, I like it a lot. This carried for me. Songs like Forest did not, but this one certainly did. I like what we're doing instrumentally. I like the vocals, and it's solid. I like the song. You said it's not quite for you, that doing enough unique things, but I like a number of contrasts from almost like breaking down different segments of the song, from the build-up and the crashing and the chorus to verse and that kind of thing. So I like some of the contrasts we're getting, and I like what it's doing instrumentally and lyrically, and I like it a lot. S.
Dang.
Yeah.
Speaking of S words, let's shimmy on down to Shimmy. I'm about to pop this song off right now. We're going to play it. Poly Music Experience, the radio. We're giving you System of a Down, the Shimmy. Woo, Shimmy. Shimmy is a terrific song.
It is. Another mind control kind of song we have here, though.
Yes.
Suggesting you're being programmed by the media or some outside force.
Sounds like school in specific. They're targeting education system for
that might be programming you. Yeah.
Subjugation.
Don't be late for school again, boy.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all they say. And then they say indoctrination of a nation, subjugation of a nation.
Yep.
It's simple. It's repetitive. The riff is heavy. It's another one of those ones that seems like almost built around the drum riff, where it's like da 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 da. Like they had the drum riff first and then kind of wrote like a thrash riff on top of that, like the jazziness to it, which I like. D-Devil was like that and scored highly because of that. It's got amazing screaming at the end where he does like the high screams and the low screams, and they sound terrific. Yeah. The reason why this song is completely burned into my brain and why every note of this song has been encoded in my DNA is because it was on the soundtrack of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. Which I played on the GameCube, which is a terrific game. It's underrated even among the Tony Hawks. A lot of people didn't play 4. A lot of people played 2. 4 is really good. I took the step of disabling every song. You could enable and disable songs, and I disabled every song that was not Shimmy, because every other song compared to Shimmy sucked. And Shimmy was great, a great song, and it was actually the type of music I was into at the time. I like a lot of the Tony Hawk stuff now, but at the time I only liked the heaviest of heavy, weird, like creepy, loud, all of it. So Shimmy was on there.
This is right up your level.
I probably put 1,000 hours into Tony Hawk 4. Tony Hawk 4 had the park editor. You could make parks, and you could make like where you start. You could basically make insane obstacle courses and have like you decide where the guy starts and like try to get to. You could put lava and spike pits. I spent a lot of time
putting in lava and spike.
And I got good at the story mode too. I think I got every achievement. Some of them are like impossible to do. I had a created character with perfect stats. I got every stat point, and all the while it was just shimmy, shimmy, shimmy till the break of dawn. Just 3-minute song, 2-minute song. It's not that long of a song. 1.5 minute song, 1:50 song.
Thanks.
Less than 2 minutes.
You sit down, build a park for an hour, and you're listening to half an hour's worth of 30 shimmies in there.
30 shimmies.
Yeah.
30 shimmies an hour. I could have turned on a different song, but every time I'm like, nah, this is good.
So in a way,
not that I was indoctrinated.
You were being programmed,
and subjugated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
video game.
What does that prove? I did it to myself. So what does that prove?
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know. The System of a Down did it too.
I was never late for school again after being yelled at that many times. I never forgot that part. No, I'm kidding. It's creepy. It's another one where it's just creepy, dude. They're creepy. I don't know. It was creepy then. It's creepy now. It's cool. It's just like, what is he talking about? Like,
yeah. I used to not like short songs in general. I'm like, all songs should be 3.5 minutes. I can get a full fill of what's going on. But this is one of those short hitters where you're like, this is probably exactly the length that it needs to be. Almost could be equated to subliminal messaging. You're in a full album list. You've got 3.5, 4-minute songs. And this is like a quick blip on the radar as you roll through this brief song. And it's almost like subliminal messaging throughout the song as it quickly pops in and out of the track list almost. So it's kind of
Bounce would be another one.
Of it.
Yeah. Those two and Johnny kind of all go together as like weird, short joke songs.
Yep.
And then like I said, I think it goes with D-Devil too, where it's just really about the drum riff, and it's just a blast of like concentrated energy music. I don't know, man. I swear, I could look at I pulled up my GameCube memory card. I could see how many. Maybe it doesn't keep track of hours. I could load the file though. There must be a way. Well,
I'm sure.
Everyone stay tuned for, did I finally complete Tony Hawk 4? Did I do every goal? I might not have, because the final map was like insane. I think it was Chicago. There's a few goals on that were like impossible to do, even with the cheats, because I had unlocked all the cheats. Like I would like go off the ramp, like fly up in the air, moon gravity, and then just do infinity tricks like in the air, flipping all over the place, like crazy, like DDR moves. You can play as Jango Fett in that game and shoot people. That's a skateboarding trick.
Are you still skateboarding at that point?
Oh yeah. He pulls it out. It's a trick. It's I think a grinding trick, I think.
Weapon in one hand and board in the other?
No, it's double barrel. He's double. I'm pretty sure. Okay. He's like grinding, and then he pulls two whatever, like Star Wars blasters, shoots them. It's wild. Rad. There's weird shit in that game.
Yeah.
There's like,
I did not realize that. From 2002, huh?
It must be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have it on the shelf. I love it so much. I never let it go. That's on the Hall of Fame shelf.
That's crazy.
Of the books and video games I never got rid of shelf.
I was not very good at Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I got good. I'm not good at skateboarding, but that's not the same thing.
No.
And I'm not good at that game Skate, where they made a game that was just like Tony Hawk, but they're like, we actually did the real physics, like actual physics, and I suck at that game. I'm like, oh, I'm good at Tony Hawk. Like, I can play Skate, and I can't.
Well, it makes sense why you can't really skateboard that.
Well, maybe I should listen to Shimmy. There's a problem. The soundtrack.
Okay.
That's what they're missing.
That's the missing piece.
And again, great. It's whatever. We're ragging on them a little. It's just funny that they're so against like mass media consumption.
Yeah.
And then they're involved in
video games,
like platinum selling video games.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's got to cash those checks.
And nowadays, there's no such thing as selling out. Like anyone's like, oh yeah, put it in a movie, put it in a Netflix show, anything, like sell out as fast as possible. Please sell me out. Like
the artist has to clear that and the record label.
I would imagine
both. Yeah,
but they will if someone wants it.
Yeah, I just wondered if the artist said no, or if the artist doesn't have any say in it because
that's a good point. Like, did System of a Down even get a choice?
Yeah.
Well, they signed to Warner Brothers Records or whatever.
Yeah. Well, if Warner Brothers says, yeah, sure, put it in the game.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And,
let's ask
Serge is playing video games with his son, and he's like, oh, our song's in here. I didn't know that.
Oh, he wanted it. He was playing Tony Hawk 3, and he's like, if Shimmy is not in the next game.
Well, I'm doing double barrel shot.
Yeah.
shots.
I want Jango Fett in a circus, grinding on a roller coaster.
Like, if I can't get some shots off to my own song while grinding. On Tony Hawk 4, then we are.
And Tony Hawk was like, Serge, my man, we can make this happen for you.
Tony's like, we'll get you signed up.
We will get you in the game.
And we'll have the options to shut everyone else off.
Yeah, we can turn off every track. Every single track, you can turn it off, except for Shimmy.
Oh, that's great.
Tony Hawk was like, yeah, man, I get you. I personally talked to all the artists. I'm Tony Hawk. Personally verify the contents of the soundtrack. The soundtracks are good though. Even aside from all that, it is a great way to expose yourself to a lot of awesome punk rock and hip hop stuff if you actually do dig into those Tony Hawk. Those are like time capsules. I was wrong at the time. When I got a little bit older and I played Tony Hawk Underground and then went back and played some of the other ones, realized how much of a treasure trove those soundtracks really are. And Shimmy being obviously the crown jewel on top.
Obviously.
Yeah, don't do what I did. It's worth it to check out every banger on the track there.
You're gonna be more.
But build me a park.
More diverse.
If you build me a park in Tony Hawk 4 and I don't know how you would send it to me, but I'll do it. I'll build a park in Tony Hawk 4. All right, so what are we doing next time? More System of a Down.
Well, we didn't grade this song.
Well, we got carried away with Tony Hawk.
I give Shimmy a B.
I'll give it a A+. I'll give it an A+. I really like the ones that are just those choppy, blasty, kind of not break beat, but like slap beat based. It's like that thing. That's amazing. That's an A+ song right there. And I don't want it to be long. It's like a gimmick song almost, where it's just like pop, 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 pop. Like, oh, whoa. Like you can write a riff like that. Wow, it's over. Wow, okay. Like that's all you need. You don't need it to be like Forest, where they're like do the short version and the long version and the extended version and the opera version.
Wandering through a forest trying to finish Forest, and Shimmy, you just
shimmy your way out.
Yeah, need to hit the skate park. Maybe bang this one out.
That's what Tony Hawk said to Serge on the phone.
Yeah. All right, A+ for you, B for me for Shimmy, B+ for you, S for me for Science, hitting the all-time mix. CD.
We're doing the title track next. Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing Toxicity from the album Toxicity by the Boys. System of a Down by your boys. The Polymuse Experience.
I'm Michael.
My name's Ben.
We'll talk to you next time.